The family trip to the airport began early in the morning when the sun was just starting to come up and the sky was turning a soft pink color. Sarah, a 12-year-old girl, woke up first because she was very excited about the journey. Her family was going to visit her grandparents in another country, and this was her first time traveling by airplane. She quickly brushed her teeth, washed her face, and put on the new blue jacket her mother had bought for the trip. While she was getting ready, she could hear her parents moving around in the kitchen, preparing breakfast. The smell of toast and eggs filled the house, making her even more awake. Her younger brother, Adam, who was 8 years old, was still half asleep, but he slowly got out of bed when his mother called him. Their father checked all the travel documents, passports, and tickets to make sure nothing was missing. He also confirmed the flight time again on his phone, because he did not want the family to arrive late at the airport. After breakfast, everyone helped to carry the suitcases to the car. Sarah held her small backpack tightly because it had her favorite book, some snacks, and her headphones. Adam carried his toy airplane, which he refused to leave behind. The drive to the airport took about 40 minutes, and during the ride, the family talked about the places they would visit and the things they would do once they reached their grandparents' home. Sometimes Adam asked questions about the airplane, like how it takes off, how fast it flies, and why the wings are so big. Their father tried to explain in simple words while keeping his eyes on the road. Sarah looked out the window and watched the buildings change into long highways, and then into open fields as they got closer to the airport. When they finally arrived, the airport looked huge and busy. Many cars were dropping off passengers, and people were rushing around with suitcases. The family parked the car in the parking area and walked toward the entrance. Inside the airport, everything felt bright and lively. There were big screens showing flight information, and announcements could be heard echoing through the hall. Sarah held her mother's hand because she did not want to get lost in the crowd. The first stop was the check-in counter. The line was long, but it moved quickly. When it was their turn, the officer checked their passports and weighed their luggage. Sarah watched the suitcase numbers appear on the scale and was relieved when none of them were overweight. After receiving their boarding passes, the family walked to security. This part made Sarah a little nervous because she had heard stories about people having to remove their shoes or take out items from their bags. But everything went smoothly. She placed her backpack in the tray, walked through the scanner, and smiled when the officer told her she was all set. Adam giggled when his toy airplane went through the X-ray machine, and he kept asking the officers if they saw it on their screen. Once they passed security, they entered the departure area, which was full of shops, restaurants, and people waiting for their flights. The family had some time before boarding, so they decided to sit near a large window where they could see the airplanes outside. Sarah watched a big airplane slowly move toward the runway, its engines humming loudly. Adam pressed his face against the glass and shouted excitedly each time he saw a pilot or a flight attendant walking by. Their mother bought them some snacks from a nearby shop because she knew that children often get hungry during travel. Sarah chose a chocolate muffin and a bottle of water, while Adam picked a bag of chips and a small juice box. Their father sat down with a cup of coffee and checked the boarding time once again. The airport was full of different languages, and Sarah enjoyed listening to the announcements as they switched from English to other languages she did not understand. It made her feel like she was already in another part of the world. When it was finally time to board the plane, the family joined the line at the gate. A friendly flight attendant smiled at them and checked their boarding passes before letting them through. Sarah felt her heart beat faster as she walked down the long hallway that connected the gate to the airplane. When she stepped inside, she was surprised by how bright and comfortable everything looked. The seats were arranged neatly, and people were putting their bags in the overhead compartments. Sarah and Adam found their seats next to the window, and their parents sat right beside them. Sarah was happy because she could see everything happening outside. Adam immediately started playing with his toy airplane, pretending it was flying along with the real one. After everyone settled in, the flight attendants gave safety instructions. Sarah listened carefully, even though she already knew some of the steps from videos she had watched online. Soon, the airplane started moving toward the runway, and Sarah felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. When the plane finally took off, she felt a light pressure in her ears and held on to the armrest. But after a few seconds, she began to enjoy the feeling of rising into the sky. Adam shouted, "We're flying!" And their mother reminded him to speak softly. The view from the window was beautiful. The city, the roads, the cars, and even the buildings looked tiny from above. Sarah saw white clouds passing by like soft cotton, and the sky turned a deeper blue as the plane flew higher. During the flight, the family talked, watched movies, and ate the small snacks provided by the airline. Sarah enjoyed looking out the window every few minutes, while Adam played games on his tablet. Their father read a book, and their mother took a short nap. Time passed quickly, and soon the captain announced that they would be landing soon. Sarah felt the airplane slowly descend, and the pressure in her ears returned, but she knew what to do this time. She swallowed a few times, and the feeling went away. When the airplane touched the ground, Adam clapped his hands, and some other passengers laughed softly. After landing, the family walked toward immigration, where officers checked their passports again. Then they waited at the baggage area for their suitcases. Sarah watched the luggage belt go round and around until she finally saw their red suitcase coming out. Adam pointed excitedly at each bag that looked similar, but their father reminded him to check the name tags. Once they had all their luggage, they walked out into the arrival hall, where their grandparents were waiting for them with big smiles. Sarah ran to hug her grandmother, and Adam hugged his grandfather tightly. The long journey was finally over, and the family felt happy and relieved. The trip to the airport, the excitement of flying, and the joy of meeting their grandparents made the whole day unforgettable. It was a perfect family adventure, full of new sights, sounds, and memories that Sarah and Adam would remember for a long time.